Hi. So last year, I decided that I wanted to take one long weekend a year to go somewhere new and explore the city with the intention of it being kind of like an art retreat, to take a long weekend to indulge in somewhere new and just to make art and feel inspired in a new place. And last year I had gone to Boston and it was a very short trip. I only had a full 24 hours there. And this year I really liked Boston a lot. So this year I decided to go back for my little solo artist retreat, and I extended it a little bit longer and I had a really wonderful time. So this is a little vlog video montage of the trip. I actually didn't do any talking throughout the entire time. I find talking on camera, even now, but especially in front of people in public, to be so nerve-wracking. I feel it never turns out how I want because I feel a little nervous. So I decided not to talk throughout the entire trip. So I thought I would provide a little introduction and then just a really nice video montage of the sights and sounds of the city over the long weekend. And at the end, I thought I would show all of the art that I made while I was there, as long as some other art supplies and thrift finds that I got. So I hope you enjoy the little video, and I will see you at the end. So I thought we'd start off with some of the little knickknacks that I got. I happened to stumble upon a very small like drugstore that sold some nice combs. This is a comb handmade in England, and I've been keeping it in my purse. I used to have one, which I misplaced, so I was really happy to get a replacement. And then I got some barrettes made in Paris, and I thought these were really cute. I also got another pair, but I think I might have misplaced them in my luggage, so I'm still looking for those. But this one I ended up wearing while I was there, as seen in the video, and they are so wonderful. So for art supplies, I got a few things split between Top Drawer and Bob Slate, which I both really like in Boston. From Bob Slate, I got a Japanese brush pen. This is in a really beautiful dark blue. These are my favorite to go out and sketch with. I do not like sketching in pencil. I prefer something a little bit looser. So these are perfect for me for sketching. I then also got from Top Drawer a little Gansai Tambi watercolor palette. I didn't realize that they do custom palettes with Top Drawer, and I thought that this one was really gorgeous with colors that I hadn't seen before. So I haven't tried it out yet, but I am really excited. And I also got from Top Drawer a new sketchbook for my Paper Republic insert. It's handmade with rice paper. So I haven't worked on rice paper before, but so far I've done a little bit of sketching in ink and pen, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'll test it out with some paint to see how it goes, but so far I find it really enjoyable. And last but not least, I got a Sailor fountain pen from Bob Slate, which these are really fun to write with, so that's what I'm using it for. For clothing, I tried a consignment store on Harvard Square because I figured since it is such an expensive school that there would probably be people donating a lot of really nice clothing, and I was right. I really like brands like Free People and Aritzia, but I never buy them at full price. I just don't really see the point in that. So I always like to check out consignment shops for my favorite brands, and I found this top. They're all wrinkly because I just washed them, but this top from Aritzia, which is really cute. It's kind of like a peasant top, but in black, which is really nice. I found this is Brandy Melville, but it is a full-length skirt, which I also wore in the vlog, so you saw like a little bit of that, and it is so comfortable, so I really love it. The pattern is little tiny flowers, so it's very cute. And last but not least, something from my favorite brand, Free People. It's just this long sleeve white top with a collar and a tie at the front. So it's very comfortable. I love layering with it so far, so I'm really enjoying this piece. I think I'm getting the most wear already out of this one, which I'm not shocked because I really love Free People pieces. And last but not least, all of the art that I made while I was there. I brought my Paper Republic, which I have my everyday sketchbook in, as well as my travel sketchbook. So I did a lot of drawing, so I figured I will just do a little flip through of them both. Okay, to start off, this is my travel sketchbook. I've been using it since 2025, and I record all of my travels in it. And this is what I have from Boston. I forgot some of my colors, so most of them are in the pink and purple brush pens. I also got these brush pens from Bob Slate in Boston last year. These are some observations from the Beacon Hill neighborhood, which is really beautiful. This spread I sketched while at the Boston Commons, or I guess it was technically the Boston Public Garden, but I really enjoy seeing the swan boats. I think that they are so cute. So I was really happy to be able to sit and sketch those out, as well as some other really beautiful architectural details in the park. These are all from the Harvard Natural History Museum, which is probably, so far, my favorite museum in Boston, aside from the Isabella Stewart Gardner. But yes, I really love drawing bones and bugs, so I find this to be a really fun place to go. This is from the Harvard Art Museum. I did not go to this the last time, and I was pleasantly surprised by how wonderful this museum was and that it was free. They had tons of incredible art, and the architecture, of course, was really interesting, so I highly recommend going here. And this was from the Institute of Contemporary Art, and I found this to be my least favorite museum. I found the architecture and the location near the harbor to be really beautiful, but the overall neighborhood it was in, I wasn't too excited about in South Boston, and I felt that for the price of entry, the exhibition rooms were pretty small, so it felt like you were paying a lot for very little space. But yes, that was all that I did in my travel sketchbook, and I did a little bit more in my actual journal. So starting with when I was in the airport, I was doing a little journaling while I was waiting. I had some long layovers, so I started with that. And this is a full spread of bugs that I did at the Harvard Natural History Museum. This took me quite a while, which I initially didn't anticipate, but I used a really fine fountain pen, so all of the details are pretty minute, and then going in with some other shading to make the bugs pop a little bit took quite a while. This is a church and some other architectural details in the Beacon Hill neighborhood, which I find quite charming. So I really have drawn that multiple times, and there's another drawing that I did. This was from the Glass Flowers exhibit at the Harvard Natural History Museum, and then this was an artifact that I saw at the USS Constitution Museum that I thought was quite beautiful. This is more from the Harvard Art Museum, and then this was a little print that I got at the Institute of Contemporary Art. I love these little vending machine print things, so I was so excited to get one. And these are some stamps that I recently made, but I didn't do that while I was in Boston. This is more journaling and some sketching of some of the things that I saw at the Harvard Art Museum. They had a really beautiful Virgin and Child by Botticelli, which is one of my favorite artists probably ever. So I had to do a little master study of that along with some other sketches, and these were done with the beautiful brush pen that I got from Bob Slate. So it's a really stunning color. More bones from the Harvard Natural History Museum, which I just adore. I love drawing bones, so I tried to do something a little different. I don't know how successful it was, but this was a really fun spread to do. And yeah, this was just kind of a full spread. I was sent a sticker making machine, so I wanted to commemorate my Boston trip and film a video of stickers that I made from photos that I took there. And this drawing, again, is from the Beacon Hill neighborhood, which is just too charming not to draw, and more architectural details and other findings that I saw while in Boston. This is, I believe, some more glass flowers from the Harvard Natural History Museum. And then this is the stunning eternal idol Rodin sculpture at the Harvard Art Museum, which I just absolutely adore. That was my favorite piece of art there. I love Rodin, so I was just in awe seeing this in person. More from the Harvard Art Museum. I really, really enjoyed that museum. And this is an interesting sketch of the interior. I find the upper two levels are all glass, and then the bottom two are classical. And it's really interesting when you look closer that the mullions line up with the classical columns. So I found that to be a really interesting detail. And then some of my other favorite art that I saw while I was there. this is some sketchy stuff there were a lot of iron gates that I saw while I was there, and I absolutely adore drawing those. So these are some sketches of those. And I think this is the last page, yeah. From Boston. These are from, I think, yes, all of these are things that I saw at the Harvard the Art Museum. I fell in love with this clock. It reminded me of the astrological clock in Prague, a piece by Matisse, and some ancient Greek or Roman coins, and a hand-painted Japanese fan, which I thought was really beautiful. So that is all the art that I created while I was in Boston. So if you've ever contemplated going on a little art retreat or simply solo traveling, it's really fun. I think some people have the idea of it being a loner activity, and as someone who has traveled with friends, family, and by myself, each mode of traveling is fun and enriching in its own way. And if you enjoy doing things a certain way or looking for inspiration and time alone to do what you love, I think solo traveling is a great way to do that. Especially, you meet really interesting people and you just get to spend unadulterated time doing what you love and finding inspiration. So I had a really great time, and although the past 2 years I've gone to Boston for my little long weekend, this upcoming year I want to try somewhere new. I'm not sure where yet, maybe still on the East Coast, maybe somewhere different. But yes, I highly recommend. Boston also is an underrated city, so I also just recommend spending some time in such a wonderful city. So I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching.